بارك عليه وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم آمين يا الله. اللهم يا مجيب الدعاء السائلين ويا قابل التائبين ويا راحم الضعفاء والفقراء واليتامى والمساكين. اللهم اغفر لنا يا الله بفضلك أجمعين، وتب وذكر واعف ومن يقل آمين آمين آمين. وصلى الله وسلم عليه والحمد لله رب العالمين. يا رسول الله
صلوا على النبي خاتم رسل
ألف صلوا على النبي
خاتم رسل
أهلا وسهلا ومرحبا بكم، كل عام وأنتم بخير. اليوم 22 من 9 1446 هجري، الموافق 22 اليوم 22 من 3 2025 ميلادي. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh to our beautiful mothers and our fathers and our beautiful spouses and our sisters, brothers, our children, our neighbors, our grandchildren, the human family, the soul family at large. It is today the 21st of Ramadan. It is 22nd in Makkah. That's why I'm so a little bit confused. But be that what it may, we cannot be confused because everything is as clear as the day. MashaAllah, tabarakallah. It is the 21st in Cape Town of Ramadan. It's the second last Saturday of this blessed moment of our lives, and it is necessary for us to understand why your ancestors 500 years ago opted for this exit. Okay, everything is patterned in the highest level of conscious, which is Allah's conscious. Okay, you as a representative, if we may call it that way, you are the last of your generation of ancestors, okay, of your lineage. It took a few billion human beings to create you. Okay, that's the amount of trust and the amount of goodwill and also the amount of generational curses that has been installed into your order. Okay, so when you come as the last representative of the relay, okay, you have the baton in your hand and now you have no idea what to do with it. How come you have no idea what to do with it? Because you didn't know what you came to do here in the first place. Okay, we have no connection with the spiritual understanding of the soul tribes that you originate from. But since you and I had eloped into a foreign modern pattern that has altered our DNA and our biology. Okay, stay with me on this thing. It's very important that you hear what we have to say, because this, what I'm saying now, in the next few moments, billions and millions of human beings are going to view it, because you are just a fortunate people that it has been chosen onto your tribe at the end and at the start of a new season and cycle, that we as the last of the ancestors, we still understand who we are. Okay, so those of us who knows what they are doing, those of us that understands why COVID came into your lives, where healthy people was bedded and buried. Okay, how that fear mongering went through all the homes, and everybody was unwelcome and in everybody's house because there was a guest that came. Like this Ramadan, there's a guest that came. There's a guest that visited all of you. It's all in your Quran, okay? But obviously, we must don't need the Quran. We have already been educated with heavy certifications to bar us from the real, the real reality, the real truth, okay? It's important for you to understand that most of you follow the religion of science. Okay, you are Scientologists. Okay, in that you fit in a Allah and a Muhammad and a Musa and a Isa, but ultimately your religion is cubed in a science. In science, 1 + 1 is 2. Okay, that's how your neurological order in your brainwaves are patterned, and that's how you get synchronized on that biology. Okay, that is how your chemistry is now fitted into your bionic hemisphere, which is your telephone. Okay, and that is how you synchronize into becoming artificial. Okay, which many of us, if not most of us, walakinna aktharuhum, most of us has unfortunately used that app in order to stay connected. Okay, so we have gone through this process as a humanity in a collective. Okay, because it's all only unconscious people. Allah don't live in Jahannam. There's no gods in Jahannam. There are only masters that rules the goose. Okay, that is most of the gods that you are finding salvation by means of fitting the bill. Okay, by now we have to break the sad news to you. We have to break this, because whether you have to believe it or not, it's not our business. Okay, the most important part of it is that we need to impart unto you is why Allah had done it, because obviously you are unconscious. You don't understand who Allah is. You don't understand who you are. So it is only fair that you understand, and given the justifications, not, I wouldn't call it justifications, but you are given the morale of what has gone right and what went wrong. Okay, this is part of how Allah unveils the truth, is when He sends warners. Okay, nadhirs. As He sends a warner, the warner also carries a message of glad tidings. Okay, these messages can only be reciprocated if it is that our inner child, our inner selves are reformed, restored, revitalized, and we have returned to the mothership. In other words, we had given our allegiance back again to our mothers after we were deemed to be the sons of gods. Okay, that's where most of you had really lost the plot of who is Allah, because you made Him into a God of a son. Okay, and that son and the SUN and the SON, it really it made you, when we saw you on earth, we were thinking now is die mense nou weet hulle wat aangaan of het hulle vergiet wat wie hulle is. But yani, Allah guides who He wills. Okay, so at the end of an age, like you would find the allegory of Noah. Okay, the Quran speaks to you according to the level of your comprehension, people. If you are a jinn tribe, then you will be understanding the Quran from its literal point of view, which most of you are pursuing because of your level of comprehension and of vibration. So the data that you are bringing home is a data that feeds your lower end of a reality, which is the fictional Jahannam, which lives in your hell mind. Okay, that's how the cycle and the stages of you having to find from your physical to your mind capture to your higher self, where you are given access into the infinite, into the eternal loop, which is where Akhirah resides. You cannot leave dunya and find Akhirah when you're dead. You have to be alive when you get to Akhirah. So most of you did not, MashaAllah, Tabarakallah. You could not reciprocate that radar. And unfortunately, you had been then asked to return. Irju'u ila masakinikum. You had to return and wait for your results. Okay. Having been given the 4 notice of eviction, there is a 6-year period so that you are given a fair chance. Okay, in the 6 years, what you need to first and foremost do is you have to find a path to make peace with those who you had inflicted harm. Okay, in the past age, you have to come to terms with the fact that you, even if that person doesn't want to give you maaf, the main thing is you recognize that person. Okay, because it's all just got to do with you, because now you're going into, as you as a civilization, without your knowledge, because of your level of comprehension, you had gone now to close the last chapter of a cycle, of a metamorphosis, of a psychology, where the God that you believed is God that then turned the devil. Okay, because you closed your own mosques with the command of your God in your mind. Okay, but because you are a very, very unconscious civilization, unfortunately, it's nothing nobody can do about it. It's just it's a pity, because as sincere as you are, Yani, you had to become liberated. You had to liberate yourself. Okay, if you spend thousands on things which is of no significance, that you don't take with you to the next dimension, you couldn't get to understand your own book of life. You couldn't pay a few couple of rands just to learn to know what is your book, your chapter. Okay, you and I are only to be blamed, no one else. Okay, then further to that, we were further invaded on our diets. Okay, our diets messed up our deities, and that is how we falsified our Allahs and our Rasuls, and believed in funny stuff that only exists in the past, in history, but we went and made it alive in our minds, and then in living in the past in the wrong direction, facing the wrong Qibla in psychology. Okay, the north is above, it's not below. Not above, Maaf, it is in front of us. Okay, we face the north in terms of the reciprocating the energy that is coming in. Okay, because we're moving from the south to the north. Okay, in electromagnetic time, in conscious time. Okay, people, we are only conscious. You have just been very badly molded to understand that you have certain complexes that you cannot untie yourself of. Okay, you cannot disconnect from, you cannot unsubscribe. That's a punishment. If you cannot survive without certain certain things which was turned idolic in the last age, like the money was was closed. There was no money because it was a credit-based economy in the conscious. Okay, that's why they are playing with you all the time with the amount of debt that the Americans have, and this one is giving so many billions because they want to make it real so that you believe that the economy is still alive and the money that you are working with is real, but it's not, people. It's difficult if you don't understand this phenomena that you're going through and you have been pre-warned for it. Because if you had done your homework since 2020, when God put you into your homes and made you close your churches and your mosques, because that was to show your children what a devil you became, okay? Then you had to prove to your children who is God. So many of you could not prove to your children because you're atheists, you don't believe in Akhirah. You just say it. But the more you're going to get into the deep water, the more your children are going to shoot you out. Now, this is the age. You don't know. I'm telling you what is happening because this is the Quran. Quran speaks it, not religion. Quran didn't come from Muslims. It came for humanity. God is not confined only to Muslims. The Allah that you believe is a subjugated God, is fractional God. Okay, is a reserved God. You got to find the God that is above the reserve currency. Okay, that's the God that actually, has no religion. As what you made your own religions and I made my own religions. That God only knows the nature. That is Allah's deen, the nature. Allah's deen is nature. Okay, so after you've gone in this deep spell of creating gods and religions and sects and all these kind of different formulas of finding clarity and justifying our play time, Disney time in earth, and now it was when we were called back, people. وَحَرَامٌ عَلَى قَرْيَةٍ أَهْلَكْنَاهَا أَنَّهُمْ لَا يَرْجِعُونَ. Okay, we are not religious people. We don't do the religious thing. We do the deen, that which is natural. That is what Allah did not sanction, but it was natural. You don't have to feel compelled. You would do it in your natural stride because you grow in your stride. Okay. So this would only now be reciprocated not by the middle class nor by the professional class, because they've already been casted into that casket. They can't leave that room. They have been frozen and iced into that cube, and now they cannot find the in harmony. Okay, that is how you meet your Qiyamah. That is now how you're going to see the truth come on your side. Okay, you will tell God, but God, this is in your Quran, people. I don't give tafsir business. I'm telling you my journey because I know what's happening, because I've been doing this journey for many years, but not to trade in it, not to use money in order to misguide and to how can I say, and to abuse, but more to assist. Okay, so when you come to a certain level of your life, a certain position in your life in terms of your maturity, and you can take the path from that moment by yourself, then that is your sabir. If you cannot get over loneliness here, then you're not going to know what to do when you come to the other side, because you'll already be dead. Okay, so this time of your life, for those of us that has gone between 40 and 50 years old, you could have reconciled, you could have done the post-mortem, you could have find the fact that, listen, you guys, I still don't know who Allah is, I still don't know who I am, I'm still paying subscriptions, but I'm not getting any benefits. Let us look at another perspective. Let us engage the universe, the earth, the Mother Earth, whatever you want to call it, the prime creator, And that is how we're going to get an understanding. In order to do that, the universe would automatically respond to you according to your intention if you are really pure, if you are really a child of the mother, okay, if you're really a pure child of the soul tribes, okay, like Annie, like where we come from, right? So then what the heavens would do now is that it allow you to throw out all the toys out of the cot. Now you can't, when you ascend into this dimension, you can't take anything with you. You can't take money with you. You can't take a credit card with you. You can't take a car with you. You can't take out. There can be nothing on your name, people. You gotta be clean. You gotta be really. You gotta be, and you cannot be attached to any physical vessel. Okay, the less you are attached, the easier it is for you to ascend. So even if you are married, many people who are married, they got divorced, they got separated, because this age is an age where you have to do it on your own. You can't do it with anybody else because your spouse or you are not on the same wavelengths. And if you go for the race, if you are a participant in the race, you can't take baggage with. This is how the Mi'raj, this is how the Isra, this is how you get into the new order of identifying your natural, authentic self. Okay, that's how you, what they call in your understanding of reincarnation, this is how you reprogram what is the meaning of akhirah, of an altered state of conscious. Okay, you cannot get that automatically. You are a civilization because you are jinns. You nobody is telling you your level of operations, but most of you reside in a dark chamber which we call the jinn. Okay, okay, the jinn and the ins. Now the jinn are also they also say they are Muslims, but they are not. They are just you being used by their captives, as they are being held in a fictional holy mindset, okay, where they are given holy lands and they're given religions and they're given gods and they're given false money and they're given all sorts of things, and they really believe it's real. But that's the simulation they have to go through. So many of our mothers and fathers, brothers and sisters, they are all in that camp because they had not been liberated. They are not mukhlasin, okay? So they follow mostly the masters of the age, like the empires and the dynasties, because they are affected to the physical reality of a fictional truth, okay? They have believed in it, and then God just pulls the plug. When God pulls the plug, he pulls the life out of it. So that's a dead corpse now, okay? That's a dead corpse that most of you are subscribing to. So the life you're getting out of it now, it is artificial intelligence, because everything that was a truth was made into a lie now, okay? If you must understand what it is, then you will lose your sanity in terms of how you had not prepared for what was coming. Okay, you would say, as the Quran says, is that you would tell the order of the age which you are coming into now. It's happening real in this time, because it cannot be any more delayed, people. إنما يؤخرهم ليوم تشخص فيه الأبصار ولا تحسبن الله غافلا عما يعمل الظالمون إنما يؤخرهم ليوم تشخص فيه الأبصار. You are now going to diagnose what was your problem and how come you couldn't enter into the higher ranks of order, because you had to clean, you had to leave the area where you got you contaminated, where you were contaminated, where you were affected. You can't heal in the same place where you got sick, people. You had to leave. So you go to an area where ancestors in the millions of years, as you are chosen by the tribes, by the heavens tribes, okay, when this transition takes place, because it is now the transfer of generational wealth that takes place from the heavens. The real wealth is above, not below. Okay, the jinn creates things that doesn't that is just illusional, and we become the slaves and believe in it, and then we make zakah and riba and all these funny things, we make it halal, sharia compliant. Okay, that's the jinn tribes. Most of you, as I say, are complying with the jinn world. Okay, you don't like to hear it, but I like to press it in, because your children must hear the truth so that they know that Allah exists. Okay, even though you don't want to tell them the truth, even though you want to paint a rosy story when the story has already been converted. Okay, now, mashallah, tabarakallah, Allahumma salli ala Sayyidina Muhammad. So you had to unplug in this last 6 years of the toxins and the chemicals and the food. By now, people, in the 6th Ramadan, I'll just give you an example. You don't break your fast because you are fasting. You are now, by now, after 6 years, the heavens qualifies you. يَسْأَلُونَكَ عَنِ الْأَهِلَّةِ قُلْ هِيَ مَوَاقِيتُ لِلنَّاسِ وَالْحَجِّ. The heavens through the body, through your physical vessel. If you had cleared yourself, opened up your brains, cleansed yourself, got your lungs, got your livers back, got your kidneys functioning, got your colon cleared, got everything in place, got the lymphatic system running as what the nervous system is intact. Now you're talking. Now your body is working for you, not you for your body, because you're not the body. You are the mind, you are the conscious, you are the God conscious. Okay? So by now, inshallah ta'ala, you will not, just because it is iftar time, you must eat. That's jinns. Jinn things like food, they live to eat. They don't eat to live. Okay? So if you look at it from where we come in, okay, what we had exposed ourselves to, then we know the difference between the jinn and the ins lifestyle. We know what is idolatry, and we know what is synthetic and what is authentic. We know this now because we know our bodies speaks to us. Because Allah, how does Allah communicate through you? Through your body, people, not through your mind. Your mind is held by your shaitan. That is your trickery. Okay? Because you don't have control over your thoughts. Now, at this moment in time, you can already calibrate. Okay, you should already by now had been given the tickets. By now, you should be sitting with tickets, for the grandstand. Okay, your body already has that kind of mutation running systematically inside of you. The intuitions, the inspiration, the wahi, it's all normal, natural things. If you are ins, if you are jinn, you must ask somebody else. You got to prepare. You must learn what somebody else is, because you're not yourself. You are impersonating another species that is not real. It's just simulations of a modulation of God's conscious. Okay, that's the dark end. That's the night end. Okay, mashallah, tabarakallah. Then by then your internal clock has to by now find where your haram is. Your haram is inside. You and I were given a right of pass into the sanctuary of Allah. The sanctuary. Remember, there was a second coming. لَتَدْخُلُنَّ الْمَسْجِدَ الْحَرَامِ إِنْ شَاءَ اللَّهُ. Do you think it's the one that is being controlled by Zionists and by Arabs and by jinn tribes, or is it the one that only Allah controls? That's the Aqsa. That's the one that is the highest form of your perception, because no human has yet refined that definition of divinity. That's where we reside, people, if you understand who you are. Yeah. So by now, we know that the Furqan, like you are celebrating the Ramadan, the Ramadan is to abstain from all idolic practices, abstain from all credit-based service providers. You had to unsubscribe. Hoe gaan sy na Allah toe, want sy weet is tyd en dan wil sy nog hou in jou agtersak a credit card. Guys, you really play with Allah as if Allah is a fool. وَإِذَا خَلَوْا إِلَى شَيَاطِينِهِمْ قَالُوا إِنَّا مَعَكُمْ إِنَّمَا نَحْنُ مُسْتَهْزِئُونَ اللَّهُ يَسْتَهْزِئُ بِهِمْ وَيَمُدُّهُمْ فِي طُغْيَانِهِمْ يَعْمَهُونَ. What all of us didn't know, he was going to call the hour in our time. Now, many of us cannot read the game because we are more convicted and imprisoned in our self, okay, inside our bodies. We cannot exit it. We cannot grow out of it. We cannot escape the Alcatraz now because it is judgment time here. This is judgment. Only you judge yourself. No human being can judge you. Your personification of your conscience has been so badly altered whilst you had resumed the identification of a digital subject that now you are not able to access the God realm of divinity. If you know where you are, wallahi, this last few days of this blessed month, as you claim it is, wallahi, make innaka afuun kareemun tuhibbul afwa fa'fu anna, because it's not a nice departure. It's not a nice departure. Okay, ons het dit gedink as 'n joke as ons gaan kom as ons gaan kom daar by Allah, dan gaan ons maar net 'n plea baadjie aansit. Ons het nie geweet ons is in Qiyamah en meeste van ons weet nie wat aangaan. Okay. So medications that had to go out of the window, shampoos, deodorants, it had to go, people. If you wanted to get to the next age, you had to cleanse yourself from everything that caused you to become an idolater and a mushrik. Okay? There's only one. It cannot be two. Okay, and if you don't have contact with the one but you believe in another one, then there cannot be two gods at one time. وَلَوْ كَانَ فِيهِمَا آلِيَةٌ غَيْرُ إِلَّا اللَّهِ لَفَسَدَتَا. لَوْ كَانَ فِيهِمَا آلِيَةٌ إِلَّا اللَّهِ لَفَسَدَتَا. So, Allahu Akbar wa lillahi alhamd. As we come into the end of this program, people, Allahumma innaka afoon Kareemun, Azeemun, Tuhibbul Afwa Fa'fu An. Keep on with your ancestors, people. Please call on your ancestors. Wallahi, they hear you. Allah gives them access to you, but you need them more than ever in your lives before in this time. Wallahi, wallahi, you know that you didn't pay your debts. You know your debts is in your guilt and your fear and your conscience. You could have performed Hajj 100 times, but you're still sitting with the guilt, you're still sitting with the doubt, you're still sitting with the fear. It means that God didn't remove anything because you were connected to the wrong God. Okay? If you had connected to the right motherboard, all of that, you wouldn't have had fear for death because you would have understood death to be a illusional process. Anyway, there's the adhan now. May Allah accept our niyat and our iftar and our buka. And may Allah love us all. Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
يا مصطفى كل شيء لله
يا نورا من نور الله
يا مصطفى